Hi friends, I am Sabu Joseph. Welcome to SVJ Academy. Today I am going to introduce an Excel based utility payroll software. So many utilities, live video classes, theoretical classes and everything is available in my channel. Go to playlist. You can see all the videos, the practical session and the theoretical sessions are available. If you are the first time viewer, please go to the playlist, watch, like, share and subscribe my channel. Don't forget to enable the bell icon. You will get all important notifications on real time. Let's start the utility. First of all, this utility may be very much useful for employers, accountants as well as doing the work of HR consultancy, because this is payroll software. Every month we are preparing the payroll of employees. So many calculations, so many statutory reports are available in my utility. I will introduce from the beginning. Just see. Our first tab is Company Master. Under Company Master, we have to assign our company name, the salary month, year, the authorized signatory designation, prepared by whom, the name of our banker, the mode of payments, NEFT, check, like that, and the disbursement date of salary. This is all the matters related to the company. Go to the second tab, Database. Under Database, we will input all the data related to the concerned employee. Here already we have so many employees data. Let's see how can we add an employee to our utility. It is very simple. Only few seconds are required to enter the data of a new employee. First enter the name of the employee, then a designation. Select the gender from the drop down list. So whenever we are selecting the name, gender and everything, the salary month, year, everything will be automatically fetched. Here we have to enter the basic days of salary adopted by the establishments. Some establishment may consider 30 days as the basic date. Some may be considered as 31 days. So here I am using 30 as the base date. Here we have to enter the casual leave allotted to the employee every month. If an employee is allotted one casual leave, we can enter 1 here. If he allotted 2 days as casual leave, that we have to enter here. Under this column, no need to fill manually. For that, here we have to enter the attendance of all the employees from first day to the last day of the month. Here already it is filled. So this attendance has to be filled every day. For that, if the employee is absent, we have to mention A, and if the employee is present, we have to mention P, and for the half day we have to mention as HD. P for present, HD for half day, and A for absent. Whenever you are entering A, automatically it will be highlighted in red color. So here in database we added a new person, a new employee. Here we have to enter the attendance of that employee. Automatically the name came here. We have to enter the attendance, mark P as present. Here I have entered the attendance of that employee. So now it is showing 30 days worked and 1 day as leave taken. Whenever we marked A as absent in attendance sheet, it will came here. If we again marked here A absent on 19th December, now 2 will be displayed here. Now he has taken 2-day leave. After considering the casual leave, the rest of the days will be salary days. Here 30 days is the basic date, 2-day allowed as casual leave. He availed 2-day leave, so he is not losing any days. So he will get 30 days salary. Suppose if we take one more day leave, here on 23rd December I marked A absent. Now he has taken 3 days leave. That 3 days fetched here, but he has lost 1 day salary. Now it is 30 is going down to 29 days. So this will be not on the enrollment of the employee. This will after enrollment of the employee, it will be automatically came from the attendance sheet. So at the time of enrollment of an employee, we have to enter the name, designation, gender and how many leaves allowed in a month. And the next one is CTC. How much salary we fixed at the time of appointment. CTC means cost to company. Suppose the offered salary is 50,000, we have to enter 50,000 here. Whenever we are entering 50,000 here, The next column showing CTC for the concerned salary month. Here it is showing 48,333 because one day he lost. So 50,000 minus one day. So out of 50,000 he will lose one day salary. That is coming to 48,333. So the CTC means the total salary fixed by the employer, and the CTC for the month is salary available after availing the leave by that employee during the month. That CTC for the month is again divided into basic, DA, HRA, medical expenses, conveyance, special allowance, any other allowance, bonus and everything. Now it is showing 48,333 is the total salary. After that it is asking about any overtime salary and any incentive. If you have any overtime salary, we have to enter here, and any incentive, commission, anything we have to enter on the respective column. There is nothing here, so the grand total is showing 48,333. Here we have to enter whether that employee is registered with the EPF or not. If the employee is registered with the EPF, just select yes from the drop down list. Whenever we are selecting yes, it is asking about the UAN. Enter UAN. For UAN means the universal account number provided by the EPFO. So the UAN has to be entered in the respective area. Here we have given the option to enter UAN. Just give the UAN of that employee here. Whenever we entered the UAN, the PF will be automatically calculated here. The question asking about whether the employee is applicable with the EPF or not. If we selected yes, if there is no UAN, it will ask for the UAN. After entering the UAN, it will be automatically calculated the PF amount, and if the employee has no UAN, just select no. Now it is showing as not registered. The next is ESI, whether the employee is registered with the ESIC. If he is registered with the ESIC, just select yes. If we selected yes, it is asking the IP number of the employee. Here we have to enter the ESI IP number of the employee. Now coming to the ESI part, the ESI will be automatically calculated, but here it is showing not eligible. Instead of showing the ESI amount, it is showing not eligible because that employee salary is more than 21,000 fixed by the ESIC. So that employee is not eligible for ESI. Suppose if his salary is below 21,000, then it will calculate the amount. Let's see. I am changing the 50,000 to 20,000. Now see, the ESI amount 145 is calculated, and if we are selecting no, that means he is not registered with ESIC. Now it is showing not registered. If we changing the 21,000 to 50,000, here it will show not eligible. Just see. Now it is showing not eligible. Coming to the next part, any other deductions. If any deduction from salary, we have to enter here. The excess of mobile bill, loan repayments, any welfare fund subscription. So all deductions we have to enter here. After entering all the data, now it is showing the net amount payable to the employee after deducting ESI, PF, any loan payments, any welfare fund, professional tax, TDS and everything. Here if you want to change anything, you can change here. You can change that one to TDS. So you can enter the respective amount in the respective column. So all the columns are changeable. We can rename the column for our requirements. Here it is asking the mobile number and everything. And the next part is the bank account details of the employee. Here we have to enter the name of the bank, account number, IFSC code of the bank and everything. These details are used for transferring the monthly salary. So the salary bank details or his own bank details, whatever may be, we have to enter here. Here some details about the employee, PAN number, UN number we already entered, the date of birth, ESI number, ESI IP number we already entered, and the date of joining, the employee code and the details of salary disbursement. These details of salary disbursement will be automatically fetched from the company master. So no need to do anything here. It will be automatically calculated. And here we have to mention some information about the employee, whether they are working or resigned during the month, and the casual leave available to that employee and how much casual leave he availed, any leave available for encashment, all details will be shown here. Now we completed the database of the employee. Only few things we have to enter in database. The first is name of the employee, designation, gender, how much leave allowed, CTC, whether that employee is registered with the EPF, ESI, here the mobile number of the employee, bank name, bank account number, IFSC code, PAN number, UAN number, date of birth, ESI IP number, date of joining and employee code. This is the only fields we have to fill at the time of enrollment of an employee to our utility. The rest of the things will be automated, calculated. No need to fill manually. Now we completed the database of the employee and also we have seen how to fill the attendance of the employee every month. After completing all, at the end of the month, come to the consolidation report. The salary details of each employee will be elaborated in a single sheet as consolidation report. Just we have to refresh the page. Any addition, deletion, correction in the database of the employee will be automatically fetched here. So our report is generated within a fraction of seconds. This can be used for future purpose. The hard copy and a soft copy of the same we can keep in a file for audit purpose or any other future purpose. This is the printable format of the consolidation sheet. In order to transfer the salary amount to each employee bank account, sometimes it may be a salary account or sometimes it may be an outside bank account. Whatever it is, we have to give the bifurcation details along with the check to the banker for salary transfer to the respective employee bank account. So that is also ready with us, a tab showing the bank transfer details. All these data will be automatically fetched from our database. Here also if we want to update this one, just refresh, the amount will be automatically updated here. So any correction, addition or deletion done in database will be automatically updated to the sheet. So no need to worry about the recalculation, whether any mistake in any area of the calculation. So everything will be automatically fetched. This is the printable format of the salary bifurcation letter. We have to print this letter in our letterhead and it can be given to the banker along with the consolidation amount of check. They will transfer the amount to each employee bank account. The next one is salary slip. So after disbursing the salary, we have to issue salary slip to the each employee. So come to the salary slip. The salary slip also will be automatically generated. Here a combo box is given for selecting the employee name. Just click on here and just scroll up or down. The employee data will be automatically loaded. So no need to copy and paste the salary slip here and there, and no need to keep each salary slip for each employee. So in a single slip we can generate all the employee salary slip within a scroll down. Here just scroll it down or up, the concerned employee slip will be generated. Just go to the print. You can see here the salary slip. The salary slip will be created half page of an A4 sheet. So in a single A4 sheet you can print 2 employees salary slip. This is the printable format. All these are related to the internal matter. We have created the consolidation sheet, bank transfer letter and salary slip. Now come to the statutory part. If the establishment have ESI and PF applicability, we have to remit the ESI and EPF to the government in time. So we want to upload the data to the ESIC portal and EPF portal. That data is also automatically ready with our utility. Here one tab is given for ESI. Open the ESI tab. The ESIC department has given a template for uploading the ESIC monthly contribution. The same format we are using here for fetching the data of ESI. This is the format given by the ESIC. So here all the employees data will be automatically fetched, and sometimes some employees may not be registered with the ESI. So here all the employees data will be showing. If the employee is not registered with the ESIC, here the status is showing not registered. So we have to exclude that employee from the list. The not registered persons are excluded from the list, and again in the amount column it is showing some employees are not eligible because their salary is more than 21,000. That employee also we have to exclude from the list. Just exclude them from the list. Now the list is ready for uploading to the portal. So for uploading the ESIC portal, what we should do? Just open the template given by the ESIC for uploading to the ESIC portal. Go to our data sheet. Just copy the data from here and paste it special to the template. Now the data to upload the ESIC portal is ready with us. Now you can upload the data to the ESIC portal. Here if any employee is on leave because his working days are 0, so that employee is on leave. If the instruction is given by the ESIC on leave, put the code 1. So before uploading the data to the ESI, just give 1 for the employees who have no working days and no salary. Now the data MC template, monthly contribution template given by the ESIC is ready. Go to the ESI portal, upload the Excel file. ESIC monthly contribution we completed now. Come to the next statutory part, PF. This PF data also will be automatically fetched here, and here also I am using the same format as given by the EPFO. The EPFO has given a template for filing monthly return, that is called ECR, Electronic Challan Cum Return Tool, ECR tool. The same format I am using in my utility also. So here all the employees data will be fetched, and here also some employees don't have a UIN or member ID. We have to exclude that employee from the list. Now all the employees are showing the UIN or member ID and all the workings are showing here. We have to upload this data to the EPFO portal. So just copy the data from here, open the ECR tool, paste special to the tool. Now the data coming to the ECR tool, go to the ECR main page. All the data of the concerned month will be automatically created. Now select the wage month. After selecting the wage month, click on create text file. A text file will be created for uploading the same to the EPFO portal. Now it is very easy to file EPFO return also. So now we completed 2 statutory parts, one ESI and one PF. No worry about calculations. Everything will be automatic. No errors will happen. If your establishment is disbursing the salary through WPS system, wage protection system given by the labor department, that data also ready with us. This is the format given by the labor department to upload the salary details to the WPS system. So it have around 44 fields. All these fields will be automatically generated from the database. So here also it is very easy to upload the data to the WPS system. The WPS system also given a template for uploading the data. Open that template, just copy this data and paste the data to the template. Log into the labor department, go to WPS system, upload that template. Now the WPS completed. So all these work can be completed within 15 minutes. All the salary disbursements, bank letter, ESI, PF, WPS and everything can be completed within 15 minutes. So no need to worry about the calculations, letters, forms, returns and everything. Here I have given one more tab for staff database. This is only an information related to the staff. Here the name of the employee, their father name, mother name, spouse name, everything, the relationship with employee, gender, house name, their postal address, landmark, area, district, mobile number, a residence mobile number, email ID, date of birth, PAN number, voter ID, ration card. So all the KYC numbers we can enter here, the other number, license, passport, date of join, date of resign or exit, the why they left the job, the reason for leaving the job and everything we have to mention here. Because if you are mentioning here everything about an employee, if any person joined with the accounts department or HR department and that left employee is coming back after 1 year with an experience letter or something like that, at that time the accountant or the HR department person will be newly appointed one. They may not be aware of that employee. So no need to worry about whether that employee is worked here or not, when he is joined, when he resigned, and what is the reason for resign from the job, and whether he is eligible for the experience certificate and everything. So just go to the staff database. The concerned staff database will show when he is joined, when he resigns, what is the reason for resigning the job, and whether he is eligible for any certificates from the establishment. So everything we can mention at the time of exit of that employee. And here also we can mention the password which is created at the time of enrollment to EPFO, ESI, income tax, like that. So the master data related to all employees will be with the employer for ready reference. If the employee has forgotten his EPFO password or income tax password, whatever may be, everything will be available with us. Hand over to the employee within a fraction of seconds. So this is the working method of my payroll utility. I think it may be very much useful for you. It is very easy to handle. It is very much useful for statutory records also. If you really like the video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Please enable the bell icon also. You will get all important notifications. So many utilities I have. All these utilities are developed for my own purpose. I am saving lot of working hours by using these type of utilities, forms and everything. So you can also save your own valuable hours and you can work tension free because there is no chance to happen errors. If an error is happened, it can be rectified on that time. From next time onwards, that will not be happened. If it is doing everything manually, the mistakes will happen every month. So we will be worried about all the calculations, all the preparations and everything. So we can rectify an error one time. From the next time onwards, that everything will be error free. If you want the utility, just send a mail to me. I will share the utility to you. You can use it. And if it is really useful for you, after understanding the usability, then you can share to your colleagues and in your circles. We can meet with another utility. Till then, bye.